Geothermal power plant. In this session, we will study the geothermal energy, review the history of geothermal power plant, study the working principle of a geothermal power plant, specify the advantages and disadvantages of a geothermal power plant. Geothermal energy is the heat energy acquired by the earth. Here, the source of the heat is earth, hence the name is geothermal. Heat inside the earth is available at a depth of more than 80 kilometers. In some locations, it is available at a depth from 300 to 3000 meters. Such locations are referred to as geothermal fields. Geothermal energy is used for heating water, air conditioning, electricity generation, greenhouse heating, etc. History of geothermal power plant. The world's first geothermal power plant was built in the year 1911 in Larderello in Italy. Working principle of a geothermal power plant. There are three types of geothermal power plants. Let us study the working of each. First is the dry steam power plant. In this power plant, steam is generated directly from the geothermal reservoir. This steam is directly supplied to the turbine, which is coupled with a generator. The flow of steam causes the turbine to rotate. And because of this, the generator produces electric energy. After rotating the turbine, steam goes through the condenser where it is converted into water. This water is called as condensate, and it is injected back into the earth through the injection well. Natural dry steam hydrothermal reservoirs are very rare. The next type is the flash steam power plant. This type is used where there is an availability of geothermally heated water at a high temperature of over 350 Fahrenheit. This water is called as brine, and it is transferred to a vessel where steam is generated. This steam drives the turbine coupled with the generator to produce electricity. The waste brine is injected back into the earth. Last is binary cycle power plant. This is used when the geothermal resource is at lower temperature of up to 100 Fahrenheit. Here, the hot water is passed to a heat exchanger which is combined with the secondary liquid with a lower boiling point such as butane and pentane hydrocarbon. A mixture vapor is generated and it runs the turbine. The mixture vapor is cooled by condenser and the liquid is recycled. Wastewater is injected back to the earth. As this power plant requires two liquids, water and secondary liquid, it is called a binary cycle power plant. Let us study the advantages and disadvantages of a geothermal power plant. Thermal and nuclear power plants need fuel to produce electricity, whereas geothermal plant does not need any fuel for production of electricity. Ultimately, this saves expenses on fuel. Geothermal plant does not pollute the environment. It requires minimum land space compared to the other plants. However, geothermal power plant has some disadvantages. As geothermal fields are not available universally, these power plants are found rarely. The cost of infrastructure and drilling is also very high. In this session, we learnt about geothermal energy, the history of geothermal power plant, working principle of a geothermal power plant. We also learnt its advantages and disadvantages.